If there is something called 200%, the executive must be 100%, the president must be 200%. We judge him by high standards. For you to be a president, you must be judged by high standards. And that will mean 200% compliance with the Constitution. Zuma doesn't mean this, that doesn't meet this second constitutional obligation. And therefore, he's not qualified to be president. Because this noisemakers are going to tell us, Zuma is elected by majority. Zuma is elected by majority. What about compliance with the Constitution, which is fundamental requirement as well for you to be a respected, honorable president? Guys, when I was speaking here, I never said EFF. I said people of South Africa, people of South Africa, people of South Africa. It goes across political divides. It goes across racial divides. It goes across the wealth divides. All of us must come together. All of us. DA with the elements of not being compliant to the Constitution. ANC with an element of not being compliant to the Constitution. Now the judges have taught you how you must comply with the Constitution because you didn't listen to the EFF. Let us come together. UDM, IFP. Let us come together in defense of the Constitution and the Republic of South Africa. We don't care who leads that march. We don't care who organizes that march. We're here. We've got, you have our 100% support to march for the removal of Jacob Zuma, and not once off, permanently until Zuma is removed from office. We're calling upon business to release their workers when such action is taken. Let us shut down our businesses. Let's go. Let us for once compromise profit in the best interest of our constitution and democracy. The love for money and refusal to allow workers to participate in this action will mean that you run a risk of not having that profit tomorrow and permanent. Business must come on board. I was happy when Rupert said Zuma must go down. He's got a constitutional right to say that. But he too must live off our economy. Zuma must leave. Rupert must also release our economy, must release our wealth and be shared amongst our people. There's nothing called treason. I heard some Mick Mouses saying Rupert has committed treason by calling for removal of Zuma. What treason is that? Is that Solima Paida who says he's from MK? When he went to MK when people were coming back. What treason is that? You know, when the clerk speaks, he irritates me, like I don't want to listen to him. But I remember after that, he's got a right to speak. A matter teaches us about democracy. He irritates me like I can keep quiet, man. But I have to remember that, this is what we fought for. Or even these presiders of murderous regime must speak. Let him speak. It's his right. It doesn't matter how much he irritates us. The clerk must speak. Rupert must speak. The people in the shacks must speak. Everyone must speak. This is a constitutional democracy. It doesn't depend on feelings. How much you feel. If it was about feelings, I would have asked that the clerk to keep quiet permanently, because he doesn't have any moral authority to be educating us about democracy. But who am I compared to this constitution? No feelings here. Constitution. We work according to constitution. So Rupert, your call for Zuma to step down should translate into action. Closure of business, allowing of workers, including yourself, to come and join the march to remove Zuma. Stop speaking from comfortable air-conditioned offices is now to go to the streets. You can't call for Zuma to resign in London. Zuma is not a president of Britain. Come here. Let business join. Let unions join. Let unions join. And let us, all of us, get out of our comfort zone and go to the streets and demand the removal of Jacob Zuma. The time is now. Combined resources, both financial and human resource, to mobilize the necessary strength to remove Zuma. The ANC will not do it. Parliament will not do it without the pressure of the people on the ground. Unity of purpose. Let us love South Africa more than profit and money. So that unity of purpose is needed. And it must not be politicized. It must not be hijacked by political formation and claim victories about that. We have no problem at all participating in a march led by any other person who says enough is enough. And in the absence of such people who lead that march, we are not scared. Unity or no unity, whether they are coming on board or they are not coming on board, we shall mobilize our people to demand action against Jacob Zuma and Parliament. I think that question about what is our response on public protector, it's an abusive question.
Who came here to respond to you?
Yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of this thing is to respond to the whole illegality.
So let's take the final round.
We must not be abusive.
And I hope that the abuse in this house will stop. I'm calling on abuse to fall. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going once. Okay, gone. Number 4. Number 3.
It's Governor again. That.
Yeah.
It's Governor again from Eyewitness News.
Yes,
I just wanted to find out from the EFF side, now that you've made a call for the people to go to the streets to march for the president to step down, what do you anticipate from the state security agencies that you're always identified as being in the president's pocket?
Number 2.
Hi, good afternoon. It's Kaya Kumara here from Kaya News. Just to get the EFF's response, I mean, some anti-apartheid movement, just the guys who were spearheading the campaign against the regime abroad. We are very concerned about these developments in South Africa. So do you believe that the country facing a constitutional deadlock or a crisis of some sort, whereby we see the gains of 1994 retrograded at some point? So what's your views around that? Thank you.
Number 1.
Yeah, the big calls for the Office of Public Protector to investigate the Guptas, and the office is actually running short of resources. What is your comment? Should I implement it? Can you just give us a follow-up as to how far is your case in appealing the decision from the Rwanda against you?
Excellent. President, proceeding. This is the final.
Well, we have gone to the to the Supreme Court of Appeal directly. We have asked for a direct access to appeal after the leave to appeal was denied by the Pretoria court, and we are awaiting a date where we'll go and argue. Well, I think the investigation of Guptas is just a waste of time. It's just a waste of time. These guys must go. They must leave our country. There is enough evidence already. You're wasting resources on useless things. those resources can be used effectively in community-based issues that have been raised with the Office of the Public Protector. But we respect the fact that people have gone to her and she has to respond accordingly. But if it was our choice, we wouldn't have taken that route. We have not taken that route. Gupta's problem is a political problem, and it has to be confronted politically. Had it not been the court interdict against us, would have resolved that Gupta issue by now. Would have finished it by now. Politically, would have finished it. Would have closed the chapter. But because we respect the courts, we had to stop what we had planned and allow the Guptas to continue milking. That's what the court said. So they are milking our state as we speak. After that court, they were now, actually we got an inquiry that Gupta's plane was in Dubai when President Zuma was in Dubai. So what are you talking about? But Zuma and the Guptas know very well that it's done. That's why now they are not hiding it. The visit to Dubai was a clear sign of people who are now taking the last batch so that whatever happens, they've got enough. So Zuma's problems are not going to finish now. Look, the creation of a constitutional crisis is going to happen once people are refusing to comply with the Constitutional Court ruling, which declared Zuma to have acted unlawfully and unconstitutional. Once that people refuse to implement, it's a declaration of a constitutional crisis. Then we're in a mess. The masses come in now. And the anti-apartheid movement has got a right. I mean, they've been at the forefront internationally to support the international solidarity struggles for us to have our freedom. They've got absolute right to make such observations. And they've all the right to be concerned that what they fought for is now being reversed by the incumbent. So we support that, but it's not all lost. The Constitutional Court demonstrated that today, that it's not all lost. That judgment seeks to rescue the Constitution and our country. And let us have trust in the judiciary, and let us hope people will comply, because non-compliance will mean a declaration of a constitutional crisis. There is no state security, man, in South Africa. There isn't. Matlobo. You talk about Matlobo. Matlobo has got a big problem. Because personally, just physical appearance, you can see this guy has got a huge problem confronting him. So, a man who can manage his own life, how can he manage the security affairs of the state? The man is extremely challenged. Because the security, if we had a security capacity, it should have actually detected much earlier that the Guptas are capturing the state. Because in Njenje, Gibson in Njenje, Moshek, the third one, there are three. They warned about, those are security people. They warned about this much earlier. And they were fired. And then they were replaced with non-security to deal with security matters. What is security intelligence about Matlobo? Like, what is his background? What does he know? Matlobo himself is running interviews and talking to people and relying on gossip. And then he calls that security. Matlobo doesn't know these things we are telling you. He gets shocked all the time. Like, what happened? What is the EFF talking about now? He doesn't know anything. I can tell you now. So, was it Vavi when he said we are on an autopilot? This thing is just flying itself. There's nothing that security of South Africa can tell you. Hence, the president is always holding the cell phone in his hand. That's a man who's in crisis. He's always holding his phone because he's relying on his own intelligence. And he doesn't want to miss that information. He's so permanently holding his phone in his hand because those gossipers call him all the time to tell him stories. So if Zuma had a intact security agency, he wouldn't hold his phone in his hand because he will know if there is any issue of threat, the security agencies are handling it. He's handling that security himself because he says he was a security head of intelligence, non-functioning intelligence of the ANC. Well, you say recall of Zuma will cause more problems because he will sit in the ANC and appoint the president. What Zuma does after this is none of our business. We are not interested. But we are going to follow him up. Zuma is in more trouble. We are going to remove him from office and we are going to arrest him. Whether he goes to Nkandla, whether he goes to Lutuli House, wherever he goes, he is going to be followed by independent prosecuting authority. Zuma's home is jail. That one is a guaranteed. Abe Zuma still has to account for those soldiers which died in Car, Central African Republic. He must still answer for that. Remember that case, nothing happened. He has been doing illegal things. Once he's out of office, we have to go to those issues one by one. That man's problems are not going to finish. He's going straight to jail, you can be guaranteed. I was inspired when the generals of the MK, real generals, not cook, not this cook which ran away from the camps, called, what is his name? KB Mapato. KB Mapato was a cook. We told you that. And we said that in Parliament. You were laughing and thinking we were joking. He came to confirm it that he was a cook. But secondly, he confirmed that he ran away from the camps. And he was shot. He lost his hand not because he was in a battlefield. He was running away. KB Mapato. So when General Nyanda spoke, and other generals of MK, I was very happy. Because those are true freedom fighters. General Nyanda is a former general of the South African National Defense Force. You are a sitting president, you receive a letter from such a person and you have no worry. Those guys don't speak easily. Their discipline requires that even after serving, they must not engage in activities that will threaten the security of the state. But you see them talking in a manner they are talking. You must know there's a problem. And if Zuma is not listening, if the ANC is not listening to generals, maybe now we're useless. We are no generals. We have never fought in any battle. But look at those people who are talking there. Real generals of Umkhonto we see who have spoken, led by General Nyanda. So, something is happening in this country. Real fighters are coming out now. The leadership of the country is taking over now. That's what we wanted to do. We don't want to lead this country. We are not in these positions because we are desperately wanting to become ministers and presidents. No, we have always emphasized that the leadership, the true leadership of the EFF and the country will come out. And we are happy that generals of the army are beginning to say, let us unite. This is unacceptable. We're taught in exile, underground, to respect and not question the decisions of the organization because we always assumed that they were taken in the best interest of the organization. But today we can see that this is not in the best interest of South Africa and the organization, and that's why we are now questioning. It is the EFF which brought back the culture of questioning mind. We are happy that we are leading that struggle of a questioning mind. We must question. And generals are questioning now. South Africans will begin to question. South Africans will take action. I can tell you now, Zuma will not be president when we reach 2019. He will not be. I know he uses too much muti, but this time that muti won't work. I can tell you now. I have worked with that man. I know the muti is number one. Like even when this judgment, after this judgment, I know he's going to retreat to home. Retreating to home means calling of those traditional Nyangas to come and sort him out. Hey, it looks like we are in trouble. Let's attack now. No traditional muti will help him now. The emperor is walking naked. We can tell you now. The emperor is walking naked. There is nothing to rescue the emperor. It's done. Anyone who thinks something can be done, including muti, that person is in denial. The emperor is walking naked. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. The press conference is adjourned.